Sonic and his friends have run through many different locations in their adventures. The series is known for having a lot of memorable levels, and this video is all about giving recognition to the best of the best. I'll be covering my top 10 favorite Sonic levels from throughout the entire series. I've said this before on this channel and I'll say it again, I'm a 90s kid who does have kind of a classic bias, so there's definitely going to be some nostalgic favoritism in this, I'm not going to deny that. But with that being said, I have played pretty much every game in the series, and I'll try and be as objective as possible, with my nostalgic bias intact. Some of these levels have appeared in multiple Sonic games, but when ranking them, I'm mostly considering their original appearance, but I'll definitely mention their returned appearances, and factor that in. So sit back and see which of your favorite Sonic levels end up on the Hat Stack Top 10. Here we go! Starting off the list at number 10 is the legendary Green Hill Zone. And I mean, come on, this level pretty much had to make it on the list for how iconic it is. It just had to. It's really aesthetically pleasing with that cool checkerboard ground pattern, and those polygonal looking palm trees and the big flowers and everything. And that music, it has the most memorable and well-known Sonic song ever. This is the first level that the world ever saw Sonic in, and it is a great introduction. Apart from the other aspects, the level design here is really good. Lots of slopes and loops and springs all around and loads of alternate paths. And it just really shows what playing a Sonic game is all about. I've heard a lot of people say that Emerald Hill Zone from Sonic 2 is the better first level, and in a lot of aspects I agree with that. But Emerald Hill Zone is just so damn short. Green Hill Zone, while it most likely won't take you a long time to get through, will still keep you engaged for a good while before moving on to the less good zones in Sonic 1. Green Hill Zone has been remade so many times in so many different Sonic games, I can't even begin to count, holy crap. You can see Green Hill Zone in Sonic Mania, Sonic Generations, Sonic Adventure 2, even the Super Smash Bros. Games. A lot of Sonic fans out there are getting kind of sick of seeing Green Hill Zone, but for what it is, I think Green Hill is a great zone that is deserving of its legacy. Next up at number 9 is City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. And holy crap, this is how you introduce a game. Green Hill Zone may be the most iconic first level from a Sonic game, but I'd say that City Escape is the best first level from a Sonic game. It's just so cool. It starts out with you flying down from the sky and freaking streetboarding down, and then from there you're doing all kinds of acrobatic stuff around the city, swinging off of poles, flying off of ramps, and this level introduces rail grinding, which is really cool. And then it ends with that epic truck chase at the end. Oh, that's so cool. And of course, there's that vocal theme song which Sonic fans all around have memorized the lyrics to. Fun fact, I played a lot of this level in the Sonic Adventure 2 demo that came out before the game, and the version of that song in the demo didn't have vocals. Instead, it had a similar yet different guitar melody in place of the words. So when the final game came out and I started to play City Escape and I heard the lyrics, I was just like, what is this shit? Yeah, I was actually disappointed at the time, but you can all put down your pitchforks, I've come around and I quite like this song now. City Escape returned in Sonic Generations, and I'd say that game did a great job of recreating the feel of this level. I'd say that's one of the best levels in that game too. So yeah, City Escape is an awesome level, and one of the reasons why Sonic Adventure 2 is so popular. At number 8 is Sunset Park from Sonic Triple Trouble. This may well be the most unexpected level you'll see on this list, because who's gonna think of Sonic Triple Trouble when they think of the best Sonic levels? Well, I do. I also choose to wear a whole stack of hats on my head though, so I'm weird. Anyway, Sunset Park has just always really appealed to me. I've always really liked this level. As the name implies, you have a nice sunset background going on, and the location itself just being set at a train station is a really interesting concept for a Sonic level. There are little carts you can ride around in which are really fun. And I don't know, I just think this level is neat. The music is good all around, but the music to Act 3, oh man, that is really good. And then there's the boss where you're fighting the train that you've been running on, and oh man, I have things to say about this. Okay, a bit of a side tangent here, but I used to have to drive past 2 different train tracks to get to where I used to work, and I got stopped by freight trains so many times, and it was so frustrating. They'd have like a million carts attached to them, and I'd have to sit and wait forever, or like 10 minutes, but it was terrible. So now, all these years later, I really appreciate being able to just beat the shit out of a train, because it just feels good. Anyway, yeah, Sunset Park. It hasn't made any other appearances other than in Sonic Triple Trouble, so if you want to play this level for yourself, you're gonna have to play the old 8-bit classic. At number 7 is the final level from Sonic Advance 3, Chaos Angel. This is another less popular pick that you might not expect, but man, this level is epic. Sonic Advance 3 overall is a bit more bouncy and lighthearted than most Sonic games, with levels like Toy Kingdom and Twinkle Snow. But then at the end, suddenly you're running along these crumbling ruins with an ominous moon and thunderclouds, and music that sounds like it could come from Final Fantasy with its choir and organs and stuff. Man, it is a complete tonal shift, and I dig it. The songs to this whole zone are just really good, among the very best. Yeah, that's gonna be a running theme along this whole list. They're all gonna have really good music, but still, that applies to Chaos Angel as well. Anyway, this level throws a lot at you, which is very fitting for a final level, but this one kind of takes things a bit further than usual. Acts 1 and 2 are just a gauntlet. Some may argue that they're too long, but I see it as like a really fun endurance course, because man, there is just danger at like every step here. And then in Act 3 you're traveling on a moving platform and fighting enemies and avoiding hazards, and it is a rush. Again, this might not be one of the more popular picks, but I just think this is a really cool level. Just like Sunset Park, Chaos Angel has not returned to the series in any other games, so to play this one you'll have to get to the end of Sonic Advance 3. What? A water level making it on the best of list? That's right. At number 6, it's Hydro City Zone from Sonic 3. And yeah, I will have no problem admitting that I am not usually a huge fan of water levels, but Hydro City Zone is a legitimately great water level. It's got a really nice flow to it, pun intended, and it's just really fun to run through. It's got some really cool set pieces like the water slides and rotating cylinders, and I don't know, this level just really has a vibe to it, and I've always just really loved Hydro City. It might take a bit of practice to be able to appreciate this zone, because when you get stuck under those underwater depths, it can have some of the negative aspects about water levels. You know how things slow down and you're hunting for air bubbles, and yeah, that is an aspect of the level. But if you play it right, you get to do all the fun stuff on the upper level, you get to enjoy those water slides and bounce off all the badniks like woof. And then you'll see, yeah, this is a great level. Hydro City Zone did make a return in Sonic Mania, and it is just as great as that game as it is in Sonic 3. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention the music, but the music here is great, amazing, just like the rest of Sonic 3's soundtrack. Really good stuff. Hydro City Zone shows that water levels don't have to suck. At number 5 is Studiopolis Zone from Sonic Mania. Now this level has some vibes, oh man. You've got some really catchy music going on as you're traversing through this crazy, weird, surreal TV studio, I guess, that's run by Eggman? I don't know what this is exactly, but it is awesome. Oh, I love the vibrant colors in this level so much. This is one of the most aesthetically pleasing locations like ever from any video game. And there's just so much going on with the conveyor belts and popcorn poppers and satellite warps. It just really makes this level stand out. Studiopolis is maybe a bit on the easy side, so it's not going to give you like a huge challenge, but it is just fun. And that's what really matters, right? I always love coming back and playing through this level again. This is like the highlight of Sonic Mania for me. Seeing how this one's still fairly recent, it has not shown up again in any Sonic games other than Sonic Mania, but I definitely would not mind seeing a 3D recreation of this zone sometime in the future. Studiopolis Zone is awesome. At number 4 is Stardust Speedway from Sonic CD. And I mean, this level has the word Speedway in it, so you know it's gonna be good. But yeah, what a fun, crazy environment this is. I love this. There are speed boosters and spring launchers everywhere, and you're just flying all over the place, and it is fun. Since this is part of Sonic CD, you can see this location at different points in time with the game's time travel mechanic, and it's really interesting to see how things change with this zone. This is absolutely one of the best levels to try and speedrun though, man. I love doing this in Time Attack so much. The level design is just built for blazing through and finding shortcuts. And as great as Act 1 and Act 2 are, I definitely have to give a big shout out to Act 3, because that death race with Metal Sonic is just so cool. Like, definitely one of my top favorite Sonic moments ever. And I mostly play this one in the bad feature, so that really amps up the epic vibes. And speaking of vibes, Sonic CD is well known for having 2 separate soundtracks depending on the region. So depending on which soundtrack you have the game set to, it can definitely change the mood of the level a bit, but they are both great soundtracks, so you can't go wrong either way. I just want to make sure I said that, but I do slightly prefer the original Japanese soundtrack. Stardust Speedway was brought back in Sonic Mania, and as you'd expect, it is a great recreation. I especially like what they did with the Metal Sonic boss. It is over the top and full of references, and it is great. So yeah, in my opinion, Stardust Speedway is definitely among the best locations in the Sonic series. At number 3, it's my favorite level from my favorite Sonic game, Ice Cap Zone, first appearing in Sonic 3. I mean, the zone starts out with you landing on a snowboard and then riding down the mountain. I cannot emphasize how cool I thought that was as a kid. And just like Stardust Speedway, There are 2 separate sets of songs for this level depending on whether you're playing the original release or a re-release like the Sonic & Knuckles collection or Sonic Origins. And which version you're playing can drastically change the tone of this level. The original gives it more of a desolate yet serene feel to it. I don't know, I'm bad at describing things. Whereas the Origins version just gives it more of a happy winter wonderland kind of feel. Unlike with Stardust Speedway though, I have very strong opinions about this one, and I vastly prefer the original, like by a lot. So for the sake of this list, I'm going to be considering the original music here. The original ranks among like the very top of my favorite Sonic songs. Okay, that's enough about the music, I'll talk more about the level now. I'll just say that Ice Cap Zone has amazing level design. In Act 2 especially. It's kind of split between a snowfield and an ice cave, and there are so many different ways you can go. Plus there's stuff like rolling through all the tunnels and jumping off the trampolines, and it's just really fun. I've always really liked how this level looks too, but I tend to love snow levels in general, so I'm a bit biased there. Ice Cap Zone kind of made a reappearance, but not really. There's a level called Ice Cap in Sonic Adventure, but other than the snowboarding section at the end, it is a completely different level with completely different music. So as far as I'm concerned, this level is exclusive to Sonic 3. Ice Cap Zone is truly one of the greats. At number 2 is Speed Highway from Sonic Adventure. Now this is how you do a 3D Sonic level. This level just has so much going for it. It has insanely good level design, with so many areas to explore if you go off the beaten path a bit. Like, this really does feel like you're in a big city here. And other than that, this level is just really cinematic, and it just looks really cool as you're running through it. Running along rooftops and on the sides of buildings, and through twisty, loopy streets that should not exist, but they do here in this universe. Speed Highway just has a cool factor to it like no other. And then there's that scene where you're running down that gigantic skyscraper. Oh, that is just so cool. I love that part so much. And as always, the music to this level is awesome. The At Dawn section at the end changes the tone quite a bit, but it's a nice calming ending to the level after all that high-speed intensity that just came before it. Speed Highway got recreated in Sonic Generations, and they did a fantastic job with this one. The Generations version of Speed Highway is so good. It rivals the original, I'd say. Regardless of the version though, Speed Highway is just an amazing level. Almost the best, but not quite. Before I get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions of some levels that almost made the list, but didn't quite. Alright, and now it's time for number 1. Here we are at number 1 is Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2. This level just truly represents everything Sonic is all about. Aesthetically, it looks really cool, and it has loads of loops and slopes and ramps all over. And like with any good Sonic level, great level design with lots of branching paths. And the music to this level, it is just like the essence of Sonic. It's this amazing sounding synth song with a bit of an edge to it compared to the other beepy boopy songs at the time. Like one of my favorite video game songs of all time, no doubt. I personally started the Sonic series with Sonic 2, so this was the second zone I ever saw after Emerald Hill Zone. And while Green Hill Zone and the Green Hill Zone looking levels are considered like the iconic ones for Sonic, Chemical Plant truly represents what I think of when I think of Sonic the Hedgehog. It oozes style and it's just insanely cool. A while back my wife asked me what my favorite moment in Sonic was, and I said running through Chemical Plant. So she made me a Switch cake with a custom edible Chemical Plant screenshot on it, and oh man, this image is everything. And yes, this level does have the part with the rising purple chemicals and the rotating platforms you have to get up, and I know how infamous that is, but it's really part of the level's identity. I definitely had some difficulties with that as a kid, but now I just feel like a badass getting out of there and moving on. Canonically, this is just some random chemical plant on West Side Island, but this level definitely represents a lot more than just some random location that Sonic runs through. Much like Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant has been brought back in a lot of Sonic games. Sonic Generations, Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, I think this is another one fans are getting a little sick of seeing too. Not me though. In my opinion, Chemical Plant Zone is the best Sonic level ever. So those are the 10 best Sonic levels of all time, according to me, Hatstack Mike. Obviously, everyone's list is going to be different for something like this, but how do my picks compare to yours? Are you just baffled by some of my inclusions? Or is there a certain level that you just can't believe I didn't include? Either way, let me know. And also leave a comment on what your favorite levels are. I always like reading feedback. I'm sure this goes without saying, but just because a level didn't make it on this list does not mean that I don't like it. There are so many good Sonic levels. It was actually pretty hard just to do top 10 and squeeze in those honorable mentions. But that's all for now. Thank you all for watching, I appreciate it. I hope you have a hat-stackin' good day.